Don't change that channel. This is Retirement Designed Differently with financial advisor Billy Voiles. He's the founder of Fundamental Wealth Designs, and I am Spike Spangle. Billy, I'm going to take the lead today, but
All right.
How are you doing this week?
We're doing fantastic. Looking forward to another show.
Busy, busy, busy. You're expanding all over the place, but in expansion, we want to let you know that every single person in our team, all of the financial advisors that are part of Fundamental Wealth Designs, implement the same processes, take the same great care, tailored advice for every single one of you who comes into our offices. But I wanted to talk today about your confidence. Every single year, there's a very large organization, I'll call Allianz out here. Are they based out here? I know they're worldwide.
Yeah, Allianz Life, Twin Cities,
Yeah.
394 and 100.
Yeah.
Great company.
Great organization, and they've got a great report on investors and pre-retirees and retirees' confidence moving into retirement. They call it their annual retirement confidence report. Shocking numbers for me, some really shocking numbers. And I am not clickbaiting here. Real numbers to me that gave me a little bit of pause just reading through them. One of them being almost 50% of retired Americans say that they have anxiety spending their own money in retirement. Hey, we worked our entire lives to hopefully be able to spend that money. Should we be having anxiety spending from our nest egg in retirement, Billy?
I think that number might be low because when I meet with people, that becomes one of the hardest transitions that you can have and make from working to retirement is convincing yourself that it's okay to start spending some of this money because you have been in saving and investing mode for your entire working career, your entire life. And now you don't receive a paycheck anymore. And all you've seen is, you've had some ups, but you've seen the balance grow. And it's got to 2 million and 3 million or 600,000 or 800,000, right? But it's grown. And that mental shift from watching it maybe, turn a little bit, I think that really creates anxiety and creates fear that people don't want to see that. But they won't be able to enjoy their money at that point. If they're not able to have a plan that gives them permission to spend their money, then they won't be able to enjoy it. And then they're going to do what no one wants to do, which is leave it all to the kids. Yeah. No one wants to leave it all to the kids. We talk about it all the time. They don't really want to leave it all to the kids. The leftovers are fine, but they don't want to do that. So the transition from saving to spending is actually something we help people with.
And the anxiety of spending your own money, first of all, it's real. We empathize with it. We understand. But I think it also comes from the unknown. You don't know how long you're going to live. You don't know how expensive things are going to get. You don't know what kinds of rates of returns you should be looking for, or should you take your money out of the markets and go over to safety and interest rate tools? I mean, if you haven't been in retirement before, how do you know how to plan for it income-wise? First of all, that creates uncertainty. So can you tell me how you take away that uncertainty for folks who come to the office? Visually, I know you put together a plan and it's our retirement design plan, but how do they walk away with it visualizing it the same way you do?
Yeah, and we want to meet you where you are when we design your retirement income, right? I got a retirement income certified professional designation, which took me through all the various different strategies you can plan for an income in retirement. So there's not a one-size-fits-all strategy. It depends on your risk tolerance. It depends on your income needs, your asset levels, all these various things. One simple concept we talk about is, do you want to live on a salary schedule or a bonus schedule? And for some people, they worked in certain jobs where they didn't have this annual bonus that sort of came to them. That was their means of doing, buying that car or doing home upgrades or something like that, because they always knew that this lump sum would come to them throughout the year. Other people, so they did get a bonus in that instance. Other people, they just are used to just a salary. So they got $5,000 of cash flow a month after taxes. So how would you really like for those to be distributed to you? I had an existing client recently just email me, and they just happen to have everything comes due in May for them. Their property taxes on their farm up north come due, their home taxes come due. They had a couple other insurance bills that happened to come due during May. So they want, a lump sum distribution, a bonus distribution in May of $20,000 to $25,000 that helps just wipe all of that out. Well, that's a bonus distribution. That makes them make sure they're going to be okay about it. And they need, though, throughout the rest of the year, they need about, in addition to Social Security, they need like $3,000 a month distributions for just keeping up with the month-to-month stuff. So they're on kind of a salary plus bonus schedule. And everybody's going to be a little bit different. You might not have everything due in May for you. You might still have a mortgage, so everything's kind of paid as it goes. But that's why we need to sit with you and figure out what makes sense for you.
Billy, I don't know if this is a surprising number, but I think we all know in the United States today, it's hard to get everybody to agree on one thing.
Oh, can't agree on anything, yeah.
But I get a number here that says 95% of pre-retirees and retirees say that protection, consistent, guaranteed income is the most important thing to try to create in their retirement plan. 95% of people want guarantee. 95%. What kind of guarantee are we talking about here?
Yeah. Well, I ask a question, whether it's in workshops or in our meetings, and I ask us, it's very simple. Do you want to hope or know that your bills are paid the rest of your life?
Well,
and 95% of people are going, well, I want to know. Well, the only way you can truly know is by getting into some type of guaranteed income solution that can provide you a guaranteed paycheck for the rest of your life. And Social Securities are guaranteed paychecks for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Pensions can be guaranteed paychecks for the rest of your life. Annuity options can be guaranteed paychecks for the rest of your life. So this concept of, do you want to hope or know you're going to get an income for the rest of your life? A lot of people say, I would like to know. And again, let's just pay the bills. These are the needs. These are not necessarily the lifestyle or legacy or, any of the, other things
the trips,
that we want, the wants,
taking
right?
care of the grandkids.
But the needs, most people really want to make sure that their needs, that they know for sure that their needs are covered the rest of their life. And again, there's lots of different options, lots of different solutions out there, hundreds of different ways to sort of design your retirement differently. And a lot of people ask, what is retirement designed differently? Well, part of it is every single member of the audience out there today, you're different from the person down the street that's watching the show. Your situation is different. What your current income levels are different. Your budgets are different. Your savings levels are different. So each of you need a personalized plan designed specifically for you. You're going to have a different tax plan than your neighbor or your brother or your sister or your cousin. You're going to need a different income plan than your boss. And that's what we help design, is a really personalized retirement designed differently. And if that sounds like something you need, maybe you're a couple, 3 years away from retirement, maybe you want to retire next week, it's time to give us a call. 888-379-1846. We have a team standing by that can schedule you at one of our offices with myself or one of our advisors, and we can sit down and walk through your retirement plan.
You can call that phone number right now down on the bottom of the screen. There are folks who are standing by and they will schedule a time for you. No cost, no obligation, no credit card. Just come on in, make an appointment so we can sit down and design the retirement for you. More with financial advisor Billy Voiles right after this. Welcome back. You are watching Retirement Designed Differently with financial advisor Billy Voiles. I am Spike Spangle. Today we're trying to help you with some of these retirement questions that you might have yourself. And from the Allianz study of retirement confidence, well, some numbers are going up, some numbers are going down, but it depends on what the question is. This one is a number that's been going up. Almost 60% of Americans today are concerned that Social Security would be reduced in the near future. We've talked about reports about this. I know that you've done a lot of work on this as well. There are conventions about this. There's a lot of wisdom on it. What do you think as a financial advisor? Do we see a possible reduction of Social Security in 8 or 9 years?
Yeah, it's certainly possible. In fact, it's possible enough that they feel the need to disclose it on your Social Security statements that in 2033, 2034, when the Social Security Trust, kind of meets its budgetary restrictions, if you will, it's going to run out of money, and then your Social Security could be reduced 20%. And the impact of that back to your plan could be drastic. Now, at my heart of hearts opinion, right, do I really think that they will end up reducing all these people's retirement Social Securities by 20% at that time? I think it's unlikely. But it's one of those where you have to plan for the worst and then hope for the best. So you do have to be prepared for if and when if it does happen, you need to be prepared to make up the income. But what we plan for and what we really believe is going to fall short in retirement is the fact that we don't really believe that Social Security is going to keep up with inflation. The cost of living for 2026 happens to be 2.8%, right? Do we really feel like that's keeping up? And I have a client, Steve, he shared with me that because of Social Security and Medicare costs, all laid out, put together, like his cash flow from his Social Security check this year went up 70 cents, Spike, 70 cents. So there's no way that that's keeping up with the cost of living and the inflation that we have going on. So if the main source of income isn't keeping up with inflation, back to you cannot live on a fixed income in retirement. We have to find other sources that are going to help keep up with inflation.
I heard from you. We've heard from other professionals. We do think that they will do something about Social Security. I don't think they want to lose the largest voting base in America by having a reduction in 8 or 9 years. I also think it might take a little while. I think they're going to stretch this out as long as they can. And it's not necessarily, it's not higher personal taxes. It could be maybe a little bit of an increase on the amount that is taxed on certain salaries. But again, that's a tax issue and all that kind of stuff. Point is, we do think they'll shore it up. But if you knew there could be a problem 8 or 9 years down the road, would you rather act sooner than later?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to prepare for it now. And you mentioned taxes, and specifically in Minnesota, we are one of the states that still gets taxed on our Social Security benefits. But they have made some changes, so it is based on adjusted gross income, whether or not you're going to be taxed at the state level when it comes to your Social Security. So a lot of people, they think and they assume it's like, I'm already retired, I'm already taking Social Security. There's nothing I can do to be more efficient, to do any tax, to really do any, I'm stuck where I am. I don't need to do any more planning going forward. And I don't think that's necessarily true. So if you are already retired, Minnesota state Social Security tax, adjusted gross income for married couples, if your income's under $108,000 and change, you will no longer pay state tax on your Social Security benefits. It's $84,000 for single or head of household and some change too. But those numbers are important. But there's also still the federal Social Security taxation, which is confusing as ever. And you can either not get taxed at all, or you can have 50% of your income taxed, or you can have 85% of your Social Security income taxed. So even if you're still taking Social Security, you have other assets, 401ks, IRA distributions, RMD distributions coming, it's still important to get a tax and investment plan together, because there may be ways that we can save you thousands of dollars on state income tax or federal tax on your Social Security benefits.
As many wonderful things as we love about the state of Minnesota, it is one of the things. There's over, I believe it's 40 or 41 states here in the great union of the United States that do not state tax our Social Security. So it's another one of those small percentages that does eat away at our own spending power in retirement. Another question, though, we've been getting about the Social Security, and this again comes from the report, is that there's a much higher percentage of Americans today who are saying they're going to take their Social Security early because they're worried about the concerns about it being reduced.
Yeah.
Are there worries about taking the Social Security earlier? In fact, don't you take a reduction if you start it sooner than your full retirement age?
Yeah, and some of the basics, right? You can start at age 62. Beware of starting at age 62 if you're still working. They have that clawback provision where if you make too much money, they'll start clawing it back. So be very, very careful. You can cost yourself tens of thousands of dollars in benefits if you take it too early. But I don't mind people approaching us with that opinion. You know, I had a client, Bill, he's like, I'm retiring at 62 and taking it at 62. Like, there's no convincing me otherwise. And I'm like, I agree with that, Bill. That's fine. We just need to adjust the rest of the plan to then be adjusted for longevity risks, market risks that are associated with that. Because now he was getting $2,500 a month, that's $30,000 less income we need to pull from the plan. Well, in a properly structured plan, then we can then take a little bit more risk with certain percentage of his assets and try to make up the difference by investing that $30,000 he's taking out from Social Security instead wisely, so we can sort of outpace. There's YouTube videos and Google videos that take this approach where it says you should absolutely take it as soon as physically possible. There's a lot of people out there that believe that investing is the better option. So we just know that your plan needs to be adjusted based on the timing of your Social Security. And if you have opinions on timing, other people take the other approach. Billy, I'm waiting till 70 no matter what. It doesn't matter what you tell me. I'm going to wait till 70. That's my plan. That's what I'm doing. I'm sticking to it. Well, then the investments need to be adjusted the other way. You need to de-risk a little bit because now all of a sudden we need to take $40,000 or $50,000 a year out of the plan to help you defer your Social Security. So everything goes back to the plan, and it goes back to having it all together and it working together, and these decisions to not be made in these silos of when am I going to take Social Security? Am I going to do a Roth conversion or not? What am I going to do with my investments? All of these things need to be incorporated into a comprehensive plan, and that is built specifically for you, that's designed for you, the individual or married couple. You need your own personalized plan, and that's the type of stuff we do here at Fundamental Wealth Designs.
If you are wondering when to turn on your Social Security, especially if you have not turned it on yet, do yourself a favor, call the phone number down here. Even if you have turned on your Social Security, then let's find out if we can get more tax efficient by doing things like Roth conversions. It all gets mixed in together, and it's different for every single one of you out there. So if you want to get your own fundamental retirement design, call the phone number, call it right now. There are folks who are standing by. There's no cost, there's no obligation to come in and set your time. We're going to talk about you, your situation, your goals and objectives. More retirement designed differently with Billy Voiles right after this.
Social Security is easy, right? The question is, should I take it now or later? Well, there are dozens and dozens of ways to take Social Security if you're single, and even more if you're married. The decisions you make can also impact how much you pay in taxes. You've paid into it for decades. Don't you want to make sure you optimize your retirement income? You could increase your income by tens of thousands of dollars just by being informed. Unfortunately, the Social Security office is not allowed to give you financial planning advice. There are thousands of online calculators that will tell you how much you will receive from Social Security. Now, you need to build that into a retirement income plan with the rest of your assets. Get your own tailored retirement income and Social Security strategy with us here at Fundamental Wealth Designs.
Welcome back. You are watching financial advisor Billy Voiles. He is the founder of Fundamental Wealth Designs, our favorite segment of the show. Hopefully it's becoming yours as well. You might need a financial advisor if. Billy, what is it this week?
Yes, you might need a financial advisor if you have healthcare costs concerns in retirement. And you should, because the rising costs of healthcare, there's a lot of statistics out there. I saw one where it's $250,000 per person is how much healthcare costs are going to be in retirement, and you got a statistic that backs it up.
Yeah. Again, going back to the retirement confidence report from this year, this was a study independently done by Allianz. They talked to 4,000 retirees, pre-retirees, 500 financial advisor professionals, and kind of getting everybody's perspective. Almost 70% of the respondents said that healthcare and or inflation was their biggest concern heading into their retirement years. Now, inflation, that's a whole nother monster. But healthcare costs, I guess we always have to go back to, doesn't Medicare cover a lot of it for us or no?
Yeah, and it depends on the type of plan that you get, right? And you have a couple options when it comes to Medicare planning in retirement. You have Medicare Advantage plans, which are less out of pocket on a monthly basis, but then you're going to have a lot more copays and a lot more out-of-pocket expenses in the event you do need help, right? And then you have Medigap or Medicare supplement plans, and they are a lot higher out-of-pocket costs on a monthly basis, but then they cover a lot more, and you got a lot more access as far as to different hospitals and different networks that you can sort of choose from. So that is an important decision. But the healthcare is always a concern of ours, and trying to figure out how we coordinate your best plan in order to support your retirement. Because there's an acronym we can go with here, and it's HIT, right? You don't want these things to cause you to take a hit to your retirement budget that's going to impact your vacations, your spending, your fun money, right? And the hit starts with healthcare. You have healthcare costs that can erode a retirement. You also have inflation that's slowly eating away at your retirement. And now you have taxes as well. So you have healthcare costs, you have inflation, you have taxes. These three things are very likely to provide a hit to your retirement budget, your retirement income. But preparing for them and making sure that you have the proper plans in place, that you have an income plan that is built to withstand inflation, and that you also have a tax plan that's meant to minimize your tax burden over your retirement picture, that can lessen that hit and make it seem like just a glancing blow rather than a knockout punch.
Hit, your healthcare, inflation, taxes in retirement, things that are often overlooked. And I think this study here exposes a lot of the fears, concerns, worries, the confusion that folks are having today. It's a lot more complicated. This isn't our grandparents' retirement. You don't just get a pension plan, live in retirement 5, 6, 7, 8 years, pass away into the sunset. We're living longer, which is a great thing, but now we need to account for things like the healthcare, taxes, inflation over time. I mean, these costs, the regular costs of what we do, are going to double. If I could even just go to the Medicare costs. Wasn't it recently, it was Medicare Part B was something like $164, then it went to $184. As of this year, it's $202.90. So this goes back to your Social Security. The gentleman you said he got a cash increase of Social Security this year of 70 cents. Was this in part because of the increase in Medicare?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another client that we just met. Actually, they came to one of our workshops, and he was watching the TV show, and he has a solo tax advisor. And that tax advisor was advising them on a Roth conversion. And that Roth conversion ended up pushing them up into Medicare IRMA tier 2 or 3, I believe, because he didn't consider that they were over 65 and already on Medicare. He was just looking solely at the tax brackets themselves. And if you did look at that, it was likely to be the right choice. But he didn't look at the cost impact of going into those Medicare tiers and going up a couple levels where, yes, it starts at a couple $100s a month, but it can ramp up. You could be out of pocket $500 a month in Medicare Part B premiums. And if you don't pay attention to those tiers while doing tax planning and Roth conversions, again, that becomes an issue. And I appreciate the idea of having a tax consultant that is giving you tax advice only. But if they don't understand retirement planning and insurance planning and healthcare planning, then they're missing a piece of the puzzle that needs to be considered. It ended up costing them thousands and thousands of dollars that are basically going to eat up the benefit of the Roth conversion.
Yeah. Here's a last number I'm going to leave you with on this retirement confidence survey that they do annually. Only 35% of Gen X, Gen Y, and the brand new baby boomers, only 35% feel confident putting together their own retirement income strategy. But it goes up to 70% when they work with a financial advisor. Billy, if your confidence is going to double, why isn't everybody out there picking up the phone, talking with a financial advisor? Let's get your confidence up by having a plan.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's three things in the way, right? There's an element of like, well, I'm gonna have to pay for the services. Is it worth it to pay for the services? And you have to be the judge of that after seeing the plan. Like, do you feel like it is of value to work with us? And you will be the judge of whether or not that makes sense. There's a control aspect, right? Of like, feel like I'm giving up control. But you're in control of it. Just like every professional athlete has a coach, right? You still run the race, right? We just coach and consult and help keep you on the right track. And then there's this others where it's like this intimidation where it's just overwhelming. And I want you to say, it's not that overwhelming. When we go to set you up, this isn't like going to buy a car and you got to sit with the finance director for 5 or 6 hours filling out paperwork. About 45 minutes to an hour, we can get you all set up, get all your accounts in order, put them all in the right place. You should not feel intimidated about bringing in your current story for us to help you with and get you where you want to go.
Financial advisor Billy Voiles, thank you so very much. Thank you for watching today's program. Take action for yourself right now. Call that phone number down on the bottom of the screen. We can get you started on the process. I like that. It's not going to be 4 or 5 hours in there. It's going to be 45 minutes, an hour, maybe 90 minutes if you want, dedicated to you. Call that phone number or scan this QR code to schedule your time. Thanks for watching. We'll be back.